Glue.
Goop? Yeah, goop.
I don't think Gwyneth Paltrow approves of firearms.
Don't say goop.
Hey there, how's it going, everybody? Thanks again for stopping by the channel here at Gun Projects. Really appreciate you coming back if you're a returning viewer or subscriber. And if you're new to the channel, really would be awesome if you gave us a sub. You know, especially if you like the video, maybe you like some of our other content. And you know what, even if you didn't like the video, you should subscribe anyway. So, we're actually close to hitting 1,000 subscribers pretty soon. So to all you guys that helped make it possible, can't thank you enough. And you might notice that recently we're doing a lot of videos on shotguns, and that's really not intentional. That's kind of what we just happen to be getting in right now, so we're just getting it out there. And today we have yet another shotgun on the table. As you probably saw from the title, this is the Smith & Wesson Model 3000. Some of you may know about this gun. Some of you may not know about this gun. They're not too common. I wouldn't say rare, but they're just not too common to pop up. Once in a while you'll see them come up for sale, and they're actually pretty desirable. These guns were made about right around 1980 for a few years, only about really like I think 6 to 7 years, either 79, 80, and they ran till about 86, so not a very long run time. Kind of weird because you know, these guns were actually made in Japan for Smith & Wesson, obviously. And I don't know if you're going to be able to see this, but if you come down here on this barrel, you may be able to see, it says made in Japan to Smith & Wesson's specifications. And the Model 3000, obviously this is a 12 gauge that we have here today. Not sure if there's a lot of pitting on this barrel. This one's not in fantastic shape by any means, but hey, it's what we got. So you might take a look at this thing. You know, if you just saw one, you might kind of instantly think it's a Remington 870, and that's kind of intentional. They built it to pretty much copy an 870, but the company that actually built them for them, Howa in Japan, I think I'm saying it right,
Made by Hua.
yeah, they improved a little bit on the design and the durability of the parts. And of course they're using metric, not standard tooling, so the parts are not interchangeable with an 870, although this pretty much mimics an 870 in a lot of ways. So a lot of people liked it because they were familiar with its operating system, which has a crossbolt safety down here just like a 870. Also the slide release is right up here. You know, it pretty much looks just like an 870. It's kind of interesting. Now the one kind of drawback to this particular gun is that it only can shoot 2 3/4 inch shells. Not a huge drawback, but there's a lot of different barrels available with these, and most of all the other models, well, technically they're all Model 3000s, but they did have individual numbers. So a lot of these different models, most of them had the ability to shoot 3-inch Magnum shells. This one unfortunately does not. I'll tell you why in a second. This is a 20-inch barrel. There were 18-inch. That was the smallest you could get in a 12 gauge. They did also make these in 20 gauge. Also, they did make a model which was a slug gun with a slug barrel, which also had rifle sights just like this one. And that one you could shoot 3-inch as well. That was only available in a 22-inch barrel from what I've read and seen on some data sheets online. But so originally we kind of thought this was a slug barrel just because it had the rifle sights. We were like, well, why is it so short? You know, you could obviously see that's not 22 inches, but checked it out. It was smooth bore. And so when we're trying to figure out exactly what this one is, you know, going from some of the data online, there's not a ton of data about these. Just looked at some Smith & Wesson forums. Wikipedia kind of sucks. Don't use that. I wouldn't use that for this gun because there's hardly any information. But you're gonna find some better information just looking on forums, and that's pretty much what we did. But I mean, we already knew about these things. This is why we were trying to get a hold of one. Saw one pop up on the auction, got it for a really good price. Probably because, you know, it's seen a lot of wear. It's pitted all over the place, but hey, it still works, and it's really all we care about. I mean, it was something different. well, the same. Like, we haven't had a million 870s, but it's the same but different. So we kind of came down to our best educated guess that this is a Model 3000 with the sub-model number of either 241000 or 245000. In any pictures I've seen of them, those would have had apparently an extended tube, but those were the only two that had an 18 or 20 inch barrel. Like I said, this has a 20 inch, but you probably, I don't know if you saw earlier, but we're going to take a look on this barrel again, and you'll see right underneath where it says pump action, you could see it says POL. I don't know if you're going to be able to focus there.
Damn it. There.
All right, so not sure if you could see that, but it says POL.CYL. Saw that, and we're like, well, what does that mean? Polished cylinder? I don't know what the heck that means. So anyway, looked it up, and apparently that means police cylinder, because there were models designated for police use. So this actually is a smooth bore. I'm assuming that it's either an improved cylinder or a cylinder bore. You figure police are going to put in anything from slugs to buckshot to whatever else. It's mostly what they're going to use. And as a lot of you guys may know, you probably don't want to shoot a slug out of anything that's not improved cylinder or cylinder bore. So I'm assuming that means it's cylinder bore, and it was for police. And the reason it says police on it is because they were the only models that had smaller barrels, like an 18 or 20 inch, that were smooth bore. And they did, again, have the rifle sights on it. So looking at that, it's probably the 241000, but like I said, those were showing up with extended tubes. This one doesn't. Maybe it's possible that somebody put this barrel on a different receiver and this wasn't how the gun originally came. It is possible. We just don't know. Had trouble finding out how to decode the serial number on these. You know, a lot of the classic Smith & Wesson serial numbers after like World War II, they just don't look. This one has 2 letters on it. Wasn't able to find a good, reliable source of how to decode that. Maybe it's different because they were made in Japan. Not too sure, but you know, these guns are from the mostly the early 80s, and they're, I guess, decently popular, and yeah, like I said, still desirable today. Hey, so we're here with our new, to us, Smith & Wesson Model 3000. So we actually just got a big jug of, well, case of already like reloaded shells. So it's kind of funny, the guy actually put glue on the top of them to keep these. He didn't like, probably tried to press them back together, but I guess didn't work, the crimper or whatever, so he's got like some type of glue in there. So first time we're going to shoot this, I'm just going to throw this one in here and see what it does. We were just trying to shoot this Maverick 88 bullpup conversion, whatever this is called, and it's got all sorts of problems, so that kind of blows, but you know, it is what it is. Ooh. Let me look at that shell. Ah! Look at that. Hold on. The glue came with it. I mean, look at this one. Like, I don't know. The guy tried his best, I guess. I don't know why. Well, like I said, this gun was from the very late 70s, early 80s, and some pretty sweet cars from General Motors, like 5th generation El Camino, the G bodies, Monte Carlo, Cutlass, Malibu, Buick Regal. All right, I don't have to rack it because I've already done that. Oh, I already got one in. Also, the 3rd generation Firebirds Camaros, the F bodies, those were in the early 80s too. If you don't know what I'm talking about, check it out. All right, not exactly sure where I'm going to be aiming, but it probably won't matter because I'm missing my rear sight. Wow, he loaded that kind of hot. Man, that old timer really loaded those hot. I don't know if you could see that, but that son of a gun. You can see I'm wearing my jacket. I shot 1 round earlier and I was already hurting, so I don't know if I'm getting old or just what the heck, but
You go to hell.
Those are all big flashes.
Those are loaded pretty heavy, I think.
Yeah.
Old Man River did a good job.
How'd that get in there?
Well, I'm afraid I don't want to walk over there to take it down. So die.
It's dead. They all had nice pads like this, actually. Forgot to mention that, but so yeah, I'm really not too sure exactly what this. I mean, probably it came like this, but it's also possible that it was put together. Maybe this wasn't the original barrel to this receiver. So yeah, I mean, if you guys see one of these things and you can pick it up for a good price, it's probably well worth it. I mean, they're renowned for being pretty reliable guns and slightly improved on Remington 870 design, and actually heard that Remington may have copied a little bit of some of the improvements they made to make their guns a little bit more stout. But yeah, well, thanks again for stopping by the channel. Hope you guys liked the video, learned something about the Smith & Wesson Model 3000, and yeah. All right, have a good one.